Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, what is up? What is good? What's going on, everybody? Hope you guys are enjoying your day. Man, it has been quite some time since I've been sitting here in this chair making content. I 100% got to get back to that, but life has been lifing, and you know how life goes. Things happen, so you just got to go through it. Anyway, I am back here, and I have got to talk to you guys. First of all, the NBA season has officially come to an end. A champion has been crowned. After 7 tough games, we have got an NBA champion. Congratulations to the Oklahoma City Thunder for winning their first ever NBA championship. Technically, it's the second championship in franchise history because Seattle had already won a championship, but that was with the Supersonics. This is the Thunder. Seattle's not giving up that title. OKC never claimed that title. So this is the first championship for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Congratulations to them. Finals MVP was Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and he actually joins an elite class of players because he won the scoring title, he was the league MVP, he won a championship and got finals MVP. So he joins an elite group of players to do all of that in one season. Congratulations to him, and congratulations to the Thunder. Devastating situation for the Pacers because Tyrese Halliburton did tear his Achilles in Game 7, so his season is basically done for all next year. We won't be seeing Halliburton play basketball until 2027, so I don't know what's going to happen with the Pacers moving forward, but it was a hell of a run, one of the greatest runs in NBA history, one of the most entertaining runs in NBA history, and that actually made this postseason one of the most interesting postseasons, one of the best postseasons we've had in a long time, because you didn't quite know who was going to win. And when you looked at the Eastern Conference, Boston looked like they were going to be the team. But then all of a sudden, the Knicks pull off the upset there. And then you look at the 1 seed with the Cavs, they get upsetted by the Pacers, and then things just go crazy in the Eastern Conference. And then with the Western Conference, you weren't entirely sure this Thunder team was going to get it done because they had to face off against the best player in the league in Nikola Jokic. And that was a 7-game series where the Thunder had to grow up. And it truly felt like that Game 7 was a grow-up moment for them. If they could get past this, they can win it all. And they got past that game, and they went on to win the championship. So congratulations to the Thunder. Tough loss for the Pacers, but, you know, that's just how life goes, and that's just how sports goes, man. It's unfortunate Halliburton suffered that injury. But we got to move forward. So with the end of the NBA season, we now get to pivot back to the NFL season. If I can find it, I know I have it somewhere. Oh, look, there it is. All right, so with the NBA season coming to an end, we officially pivot back. We are pivoting back, ladies and gentlemen, to football. Football is just 2 months away. Actually, 73 days away until opening night, I believe. And training camp is less than a month away. So we are pivoting back to football, which means it's time to talk about the Ravens. We begin the journey once again with the Ravens. And in all honesty, not sure if we can get it done. Man, this is going to be tough. I ain't gonna lie. A big part of why I'm here is specifically to talk about this. Ravens flock. A lot has happened. A lot has happened this offseason. This has been one of the more eventful offseasons. In fact, this might be the most eventful offseason in the Lamar Jackson era if you're just looking at how everything turned out. From Ronnie Stanley getting that contract for the Ravens, him choosing to take less money to stay in Baltimore, which, by the way, still remains to be the biggest offseason move the Ravens made, because Ronnie Stanley was going to get 25 plus million somewhere. Someone may have offered him 30 million, who knows? And if we would have lost the left tackle, our entire draft situation changes because you got to get a left tackle. So Ronnie Stanley getting that contract was the most important thing for the Ravens to do, and that was the biggest offseason move. Then you go get D-Hop. So DeAndre Hopkins is on this team. He's going to join up alongside Zay Flowers and Rashad Bateman. He basically replaces Nelson Agholor, which is a major upgrade in that aspect. You replace Nelson Agholor and bring in DeAndre Hopkins to be your wide receiver 3. That's a lot there. Then you see the Ravens in the draft. They draft Malachi Starks and Mike Green. So, yeah, those are aspects that we assume, we don't know if they will, but we assume, and in some cases we expect, to showcase their presence immediately. especially with Malachi Starks being right next to Kyle Hamilton. If he works out and he has an amazing rookie year the same way Nate Wiggins did, this defense is going to be lethal. But it doesn't end there, because recently, as recent as last week, the Ravens found a way to get Jair Alexander. Lamar Jackson was speaking to the media last week, and when they, referred to Jair being available, he didn't even let the reporter finish the question and said, "Go get him, Eric." And 24 hours later, they got him. So now you've got Jair. So you get Jair Alexander, you get DeAndre Hopkins on this team, you still have Derrick Henry, and you gave him an extension as well. You gave a contract to Rashad Bateman as well. I didn't even talk about that. So much has happened this offseason. So Bateman's going to be here for the next few years. So is Derrick Henry. So is Ronnie Stanley. You brought D-Hop on a one-year deal. You brought Jair Alexander on a one-year deal. You draft Malachi Starks and Mike Green. So much has happened. And when you take a look at this team right now and what they've assembled and what they currently have, it's tough. It is very tough to not look at this team and say the expectation is Super Bowl. This team has to get it done this year. And I'm not interested in talking about their chances or should they be favored in the AFC. No, I don't want to talk about that. All I want to say is this. If this unit can stay upright for 17 games, they better be holding the trophy. That's it. If they stay upright for 17 games, they better be holding the damn trophy in February. There will be no excuses. And I know we're tired of hearing about the Ravens being a team with no excuses. They got to get it done. This is their year. But when you look at how much talent they have and what they've assembled this year, and when you look at the previous 2 years in which they had opportunities to win, they just blew it because of self-inflicted wounds. One has to think that eventually you got to get tired of this and you got to step up and get it done. If you're serious about winning a championship, you have got to step up and play to the expectations that you put on yourself, the expectation that is going to be put on you by the media because you are one of the best teams in the league. You've got to play up to your standards. And if you can't do that in the playoffs, it's not going to matter. So this is another year of one of those situations where they have to deal with the expectations being put on them. But when you look at the talent they have and you look at what's assembled, it makes sense. If this unit stays upright for 17 games, there's no other reason as to why they should not be holding the trophy. If they fail to get it done this year, many in the fan base will question if they're ever going to get it done in this Lamar Jackson era. That's number one. Number two, they're going to be heavily criticized. It's going to be bad. They're going to be heavily criticized. So much jokes, so much criticisms, so much is going to be thrown on them. It's going to be awful if they fail to get this done. But that's only if this unit stays upright for 17 games. And you know what I mean by that. I don't want to say it. But if they stay upright for 17 games, they have to be holding the trophy at the end of the year. If they're not, that is not a good look. That would be heavily criticized, and there's nothing we can do about it because it would be 100% warranted. There's no reason to not get it done with this amount of talent. This is arguably the most talented team we've had in franchise history. From the offense to the defense, like legitimately, we have never had this amount of talent. And if you can't get it done, when are you going to get it done? You were in the AFC Championship game 2 years ago with the number one defense and the MVP as your quarterback. You didn't get it done. Last year, you put Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry right next to each other. It created magic, historical numbers as a duo. You had this elite offense with Lamar having the best statistical year of his season. The best statistical year of his career. That was a hell of a season last year. And you get to Buffalo, you turn the ball over 3 times and you lose. Other than those 3 turnovers, you didn't punt the ball. You had 9 actually technically, but one of those was a knee. So essentially you had 8 drives in that game against Buffalo. 5 of the 8 drives were scoring drives for 25 points. The other 3 drives were turnovers, and 2 of those 3 turnovers were in Buffalo territory. So there was no reason to lose that game. Self-inflicted wounds. If you keep doing that, it's going to cost you in the postseason. So with that happening the last 2 years, and now you've upgraded from what you had last year, and this team, from a roster standpoint, is much better than it was last year. If you can't get it done with this unit, I don't know when you're going to get it done, period. So there's a lot of pressure on the Ravens. They know it themselves. I think they are trying to hold themselves to that standard that they want to reach, and they understand that they have fallen short the last few years, they know they have to get it done. And if they don't get it done, they're going to be criticized, and people are going to question if they're ever going to get it done in the Lamar Jackson era. They know what's at stake, so we'll have to see how things go. Anyway, guys, I will see you later. I'm getting back to it. There is a video that will come out involving the Ravens and all this other stuff. I'll talk about that because I've been gone for a while. But yeah, I appreciate you guys tuning in, and I will see y'all later. Be sure to stay safe, and peace out.